This is the Valley Today.
All right, we're talking about crashes, spinouts, icy roads all over the snow we keep getting, keeping drivers on their toes, and first responders and snowplow drivers busy chasing after all of the trouble.
And there is more of that white stuff coming down today and in the next couple of days. Meteorologist Lisa Green is first up this morning to let us know what we can expect when we head out the door, and all eyes on a bigger weather event tomorrow. Good morning, Lisa.
Good morning. Yes, you know, our winter weather, it's not going anywhere anytime soon, and it's going to be a problem for us through the rest of the week, whether it be snow, whether it be wind, whether it be cold temperatures, or a combo of all three. And this morning, it's what's left from last night's snow and a few areas where we're still getting a little light snow, leading to some slick spots on the roads. And this is the intersection of Main and 8th Street in Moorhead, the Moorhead Dairy Queen intersection. And you can see that it is looking a little snowier this morning. You can see where we've got tire tracks the intersection, and it's those intersections I'm most concerned about today, with the stopping and starting that vehicles do, causing the warm up and melting and then refreeze, especially those that aren't treated. So we want you to watch out there. Another view of University here in Fargo, where you see tire tracks on the road, some shiny areas where we have that off ramp going on here. So please be careful as you are hitting the road here this morning, and you'll probably want that extra time as you're starting off the day here for today. So here's a look at what to expect as you're stepping outside. Temperature-wise, single digits for some of us. It's cold. It's 5 degrees in Grand Forks. It's 13 in Fargo, so slightly better, but the wind chill is even worse. We'll show you that in a second. Bemidji getting a little light snow still. We're warmer there at 23. Devil's Lake only 5 degrees. So again, a cold start. But factor in that wind, especially if you're in eastern North Dakota. Look at these wind chills. It feels like 16 below right now in Langdon, 11 below your wind chill in Grand Forks, and 3 below in Fargo. So a morning to not only maybe give yourself some time to get the driveway cleared off, but you're going to want to layer up that extra layer as you're out there here this morning. Radar satellite looking fairly quiet. There are a few spotty areas of light snow you can see on the radar. Some places, again, where we're getting snow, but it's not necessarily being detected. And we're looking off to the northwest, or a cold front that's going to move through. You can kind of make out where that is here with this broken line of snow showers that will be moving in later today. And then behind that, more scattered snow and more chances for wind to blow that snow around. So that's going to be our next concern coming up here. So here's our planner for today. Here's the good news. We get some breaks in those clouds, so we get to see that sunshine return. It's been so gray lately. It'll be nice to get some breaks in the clouds and see a little bit more of that sun. Won't be completely clear blue sky, but still brightening things up a bit. A struggle to warm up today. Our daytime high right around 20, but we may be even warmer than that, getting closer to midnight as the system's moving through. And you can see our snow chances ramping up at that point as well. So we see some scattered areas of snow first, and then the wind picks up overnight and into Thursday. And so I've raised a first alert weather day for Thursday, specifically because of that wind, and then any snow that's fallen or is continuing to fall on Thursday becoming a problem for visibility, for blowing snow, some drifting here. It will not be as intense as it was last week, but this is just to give you that heads up that travel is going to be even a little bit tougher than we've seen in the last couple of days, and we factor in that wind. So we're going to get into the details on this, and of course what to expect throughout the rest of the day today too, coming up here in just a couple of minutes.
A lot of things we need to go over. Okay, Lisa, thank you. 6:04 right now. A Twin Cities man ticketed for care required after hitting supports on a bridge along I-94 near Jamestown with a semi. The Highway Patrol says the driver lost control of his vehicle yesterday afternoon and then started swerving from shoulder to shoulder.
It was near the overhead of an interchange 12 miles east of Jamestown. He traveled through a guardrail, scraped support pillars, and got hung up on those supports. Troopers say the driver was able to walk away from the crash, but is currently being treated for bruising at the hospital. Charges now pending against a 77-year-old North Dakota school bus driver after a crash with a car that seriously injured 2 people. Police say the bus had stopped near Carpio in Ward County yesterday afternoon, but then failed to yield to oncoming traffic and was then hit by a car.
An elderly couple in that car are now badly hurt. However, none of the 7 students on the bus or the driver were hurt. Another school bus came to pick up the kids as police investigated that crash. We'll take a look at this video right here. It's out of Wahpeton. You'll see a driver speeding past a school bus with the stop arm out. Now it's a bus driver's worst nightmare. The people are reminded to slow down and pay better attention before a child gets hurt.
Wahpeton public school officials say unfortunately incidents like this happen at least once a month.
Every student that rides a bus is somebody's child, somebody's grandchild, and if something happens to one, that's a problem.
Officials say just days before this incident caught on camera, Wahpeton started looking into new stop arms for the 4 school buses that run those city routes, but it would cost around $1,400 per bus. Officials plan to ask the school board to approve that expense down the road. New this morning, back home in North Dakota, 70 National Guardsmen returned to Bismarck just last night. This was after a nearly year-long deployment at the U.S.-Mexico border.
While on duty at the southwest border, the U.S. Customs and Border Protection agents were supporting them in their security operations. Also new this morning, a fire extinguisher keeps an apartment fire to a minimum. Fire crews rushed to a Grand Forks apartment last night to check on a bathroom fire in one of the units.
They say a fan overheated and started a fire in the ceiling, which was put out quickly by the woman who lives there. Damage was minimal, though, and no one in the building was displaced. Fire crews say it's a good reminder to have working extinguishers along with those smoke detectors in your home.
A Barnes County nurse's aide has now been found guilty of aggravated assault and reckless endangerment for an incident at a long-term care facility.
Evidence at trial showed Gracious Weah performed an improper lift of a resident at the Cheyenne Care Center and injured that resident. She then failed to report that injury, which went untreated for more than 12 hours, causing permanent damage. Weah will be sentenced November 29th. Nearly 24 residents of a North Dakota retirement center will soon be forced to move out.
Dakota Estates in Lidgerwood is closing its doors, forcing residents and employees to find new homes and jobs by December 31st. A member of the Dakota Estates board says the biggest reason for the closure is that there isn't enough income to sustain the facility or to pay employees, and they cite a number of empty rooms as evidence. But families believe there are other reasons.
This gets to be your home, and and it's sad that we have to break up and some don't have anywhere to go.
I think that there deserves to be more transparency just concerning if any funds were misappropriated, and if so, what's being done to hold people accountable.
The board member we spoke to says there's not enough solid evidence to back up those claims entirely. Jim Holme adds that the board is doing what it can to get every resident moved into a good home.
Some Moorhead College students are upset about the timing of an announcement after a student brought a gun to campus. School officials say they activated safety protocols when a student brought a gun onto the campus over the weekend.
There was no threat or act of violence, but students say it's very concerning that they weren't notified until 2 full days later.
It's scary having something like that on campus, but it's good that they allowed them not back on.
I feel a little nervous having known that there was a possibility for us to be in danger, and we weren't made aware until 2 days after the fact.
Moorhead police say the weapon has been secured and charges are now pending.
Well, Donald Trump has made it official. He's launching a 3rd bid for the White House. He announced plans to run for president in 2024. It was at a kickoff event last night at his home in Mar-a-Lago.
The White House bid comes 2 years after voters ousted him in 2020 and a week after many of his hand-picked candidates were defeated in pivotal midterm races. Still to come here this Wednesday morning, the story of the greatest generation in a way that's never been seen at a museum.
Yeah, you don't want to miss that. Also, weather to plan out your day, especially if you're getting ready to head out the door. We'll be taking a look at travel maps as well. We'll be right back, everybody.